Salam keluarga Malaysia. Hello and good afternoon. You're watching Updates at Noon with me, Renee Fong. Making the headlines today, 80 residents in Taman Bukit Permai 2 hold to vacate homes. A total of 80 residents from 22 houses in Taman Bukit Permai 2, Ampang have been instructed to vacate their homes starting yesterday because the situation is still unsafe amid soil movement in the area. Hulu Langat District Officer Dr. Ani Ahmad said 15 of the houses involved are in Jalan Permai 1, 4 in Jalan Teratai 1/2J, Taman Bukit Permai 2, 2 in Jalan Megajaya 15 and 1 in Jalan Teratai 1/2K, Taman Bukit Permai 2. She said residents in the specified areas have not been allowed to return to their homes while awaiting further studies from technical agencies that will be coordinated by the Ampang Jaya Municipal Council MPAJ through IKRAM Public Works Institute of Malaysia. Elaborating, Ani said the evacuation of the residents may take 2 weeks or more depending on the follow-up study to be conducted by IKRAM and the Department of Minerals and Geoscience.
Kerja-kerja pengukuhan sementara cerun berdasarkan kepada keputusan kajian yang akan dijalankan, merangkumi pemasangan filing yang dijangka akan mengambil masa antara 3 hingga 4 bulan dan pembaikan kekal cerun dijangka akan mengambil masa 15 hingga 18 bulan dan akan dimulakan dengan kadar segera.
She said this in a special press conference at the MPAJ Hall yesterday. Ani said the affected residents were also briefed yesterday on the status of the slope stability and their safety, adding that they all understood the situation. She added that the Public Works Department JKR, through its slope engineering branch, had installed 10 sensor units last Friday to monitor the movement of soil in the area. The landslide incident in Taman Bukit Permai 2 at 5:54 p.m. last Thursday claimed 4 lives and injured 1 person besides damaging 15 houses and 10 vehicles. Malaysia recorded 26,534 new COVID-19 infections, bringing total to over 3.87 million since the pandemic began. The Health Ministry's COVID Now portal reported that 691 of the new COVID-19 infections were imported cases, while the remaining 25,843 cases were local transmissions. It also said that 31,234 COVID-19 patients recovered on Monday, bringing the total number of recoveries in Malaysia to over 3.53 million cases since the pandemic began. There are currently 304,147 active cases in the country, with 293,435 or 96.5% observing home quarantine and 2,123 or 0.7% admitted to low-risk quarantine and treatment facilities. A total of 8,213 COVID-19 patients are currently seeking treatment at hospitals nationwide, with 376 warded in intensive care units, ICU. The Department of Chemistry Malaysia confirmed that no pig DNA or porcine was detected in frozen squid ring samples as claimed by a consumer. Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Alexander Nantalinggi said the findings were obtained from analysis conducted by the Chemistry Department on samples of the frozen squid seized by the Enforcement Division of the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, KPDN HEP. He said the frozen squid rings were confiscated following inspections at several premises involving retailers, wholesalers, distributors and importers of the product in Perlis, Kedah, Pulau Pinang, Selangor and Johor, following allegations that the products sold in the market were made from pig rectum. In a release statement, Datuk Sri Nanta said samples of the products were sent to the Department of Chemistry for analysis to identify whether they contained pig DNA or otherwise, and from results received from the Department of Chemistry, and it is confirmed that no pig DNA is detected in the samples. A posting on social media that claimed squid rings sold in the market were made from pork rectum with squid flavors went viral recently, while other social media users doubted the validity of the halal mark printed on the packaging. A total of 563 cases of non-existent loan fraud were reported in January and February this year, involving losses of over 5.3 million ringgit. Bukit Aman Commercial Crime Investigation Department Director Datuk Muhammad Kamaruddin Maddin said a total of 545 people were arrested during the period, while 3,183 people were arrested for similar offences last year and 3,092 individuals in 2020. He said based on records, a total of 5,723 criminal cases were recorded in 2020, involving losses of 60.2 million ringgit, and last year the number of cases decreased to 4,788 cases with losses of 50.6 million ringgit. In a release statement, he said the modus operandi of the fraud syndicate is to advertise their services through social media such as WhatsApp, offering low interest rates as well as fast approval process to deceive victims. He said victims would be asked to make a number of payments for various reasons, including legal fees, agreement fees, insurance fees, Inland Revenue Board fees before the loan was approved. But after the payments were made, victims would still not receive the promised amount. Datuk Muhammad Kamaruddin advised members of the public to remain vigilant and not be deceived by such offers online. It said the people also need to be physically present at a licensed banking or financial institution when applying for a loan. Coming up next, Kuala Lumpur hotels need about 7,000 workers. Bank Rakyat will introduce a commercial vehicle financing scheme by April at the latest to help transportation sector entrepreneurs affected by the COVID-19 pandemic to buy new vehicles for economic activities. Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives Minister Tan Sri Noh Omar said the financing through a hire purchase agreement will help this group to be prepared for the reopening of the country's borders for its transition into the COVID-19 endemic phase next month.
Saya telah minta Bank Rakyat memperkenalkan skim sewa beli ini, hire purchase agreement, untuk membantu transport ini tadi, termasuklah bas sekolah, dan untuk bersedia apabila kita sampai masa endemik nanti, pelancong pun akan mula datang. Jadi mereka mungkin yang selama ini bas dah tak berjalan 2 tahun, mungkin kereta tak berjalan 2 tahun dan mereka nakkan kenal yang baru, jadi boleh memohon dengan Bank Rakyat dan juga tekun di bawah Kementerian Kuskop ni.
Tan Sri Noh has also instructed Tekun Nasional, an agency under his ministry, to assist the group with at least a 10% deposit to buy new vehicles for economic activities. He said this to reporters after officiating at the Selangor, Putrajaya and Kuala Lumpur School Bus Association's 17th annual general meeting in Puchong yesterday. However, he said before applying for the scheme, applicants had to submit income statements before the COVID-19 pandemic for the bank's assessment. The hotel industry in Kuala Lumpur needs almost 7,000 workers to serve in the sector. According to Deputy Federal Territories Minister Datuk Sri Jalaluddin Alias, in the Federal Territories alone, there were 175 hotels registered with the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, comprising 146 hotels in Kuala Lumpur, Labuan 22 and Putrajaya 7.
Di Kuala Lumpur saja, masalah kekurangan pekerja, kita lack of staff almost 6-7,000 itu. Lebih kurang 7,000 memerlukan tenaga kerja bagi industri ini. Maka ini adalah antara masalah utama yang dihadapi oleh perhotelan dan saya lihat ini perlu diperbincangkan dengan beberapa kementerian bagaimana untuk kita mengatasi masalah tenaga kerja ini.
Elaborating, he said he will also discuss with Federal Territories Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Shahidan Kasim regarding the issue. He added the shortage of manpower has had a huge impact on the hotel sector since the COVID-19 pandemic hit the country because some employees stopped working while others had their jobs terminated. Datuk Sri Jalaluddin said this at a press conference after a session with hotel operators yesterday to discuss issues related to the hotel industry and mechanisms to revive the sector. A survey by the Real Estate and Housing Developers Association Malaysia, REHDA, has revealed that 77% of developers with future property launches anticipate sales performance to be below 50%. REHDA Acting President Dato' Nik Tong said only 5,303 units were sold out of the total 10,665 units launched in the second half of 2021. He said while the results reflect the challenges faced by the industry, the numbers were slightly better than the first half of 2021. There were only 4,560 units sold out of the 11,601 units launched. Dato' Tong said 40 out of 124 REHDA members launched their projects in 2H 2021.
Aggressive participation in networking, social media, marketing, property portals. The second, to enhance product innovation, creativity. And the third, the use of virtual technology as a marketing tool. I think that is a sign of the times with the lockdowns that we have experienced over the last 2 years.
Unfavorable market conditions and the fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic and movement control orders was cited as the reasons why respondents mothballed launches. He said the situation remains challenging and property developers would work closely with the Ministry of Housing and Local Government to work out strategies to ensure that housing issues will be resolved. He said this at the REHDA Property Industry Survey 2H 2021 and Market Lookout 2022 media briefing. Uda Holdings Berhad, through its corporate social responsibility CSR program, Uda Cares, channeled contributions worth 100,000 ringgit to 660 students in Penang via the Back to School 2022 initiative. Uda Chairman Dato' Noliza Abdul Rahim said the company aims to lighten the burden of communities by providing school supplies to the needy through the program. She said being sensitive to the current situation, Uda hopes that the contribution can help the families and students who need them so that such students can return to school in better morale as the school session will start at the end of this month.
Prihatin Uda terhadap rakyat Malaysia. Dalam konsep keluarga Malaysia, kita merasakan kita sebagai JLC kita harus membantu selain daripada kita memajukan kemajuan hartanah dan juga yang lain-lain, kita juga kena membantu dari segi sosial dan ini antara program yang kami anjurkan untuk membantu rakyat di Malaysia.
She said this to reporters after officiating the program in Georgetown yesterday. The students from 40 primary and secondary schools from Bukit Gelugor and Tasik Gelugor each received about 150 ringgit in aid in the form of school uniforms, socks, black shoes and towels. UDA also presented replica checks to 2 schools in Pulau Pinang, namely Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Datuk Haji Muhammad Noor Ahmad and Sekolah Kebangsaan Ayer Hitam, with each school receiving 30,000 ringgit. She added that these funds will enable the schools to run their programs and activities so that students can improve their performance in both areas of curriculum and co-curriculum. The Malaysian Weightlifting Federation MWF are targeting 3 gold medals from the 7 lifters who have qualified for the Birmingham Commonwealth Games 2022 that will be held from 28 July to 8 August. MWF President Dato' Ayub Rahmat said this was based on the spirit shown by the new team, which had been formed through a restructuring of the coaching lineup and athletes early this year. According to Dato' Ayub, MWF is targeting at least 3 goals through Muhammad Anik Kazdan in the 56 kg, Muhammad Aznil Bidin in the 61 kg and Muhammad Eri Hidayat in the 73 kg categories.
Kita tak perlu ramai di peringkat kebangsaan, tetapi mereka ini berkualiti, mempunyai potensi dan sebagainya. Jadi ini yang kita fikirkanlah, kerana matlamat kita biarlah negeri-negeri yang mengasuh, yang mendidik dan juga melahirkan pelapis. Dari peringkat kebangsaan kita mengambil mereka-mereka yang terbaik, yang berpotensi dan juga yang boleh menghasilkan pingat kepada negara.
He added that the MWF were also committed to addressing the doping issue among lifters by amending the Federation's constitution and drafting specific regulations, besides imposing stern action against those involved in doping. In addition, he said the Federation also stipulated that every tournament must have urine tests to be carried out by the Anti-Doping Agency of Malaysia, ADAMAS, besides conducting periodic and unscheduled tests at every training centre so as to ensure the lifters stayed clear of doping. Perak is targeting a 3rd place finish with at least 40 gold medals at the 20th edition of the Malaysia Games Sukma in Kuala Lumpur this July. State Youth Sports Communications and Multimedia Committee Chairman Khairul Shahrul Muhammad said the target was set based on performances of its athletes who contested at the 2018 edition, with 39 gold medals collected.
Sasaran ni sasaran yang realistik, ya, bukan saja-saja kita create dan sebagainya, tak. Ini berdasarkan kajian kita dalam konteks pencapaian semasa, prestasi semasa atlet. Jadi ini pencapaian yang realistik, walaupun sebenarnya kalau ikutkan maklumat yang saya terima lebih daripada itu lagi. Tapi untuk realistik dengan 21 sukan tak kurang 40 yang kita sasarkan untuk ini, tempat ketiga terbaik.
On the crisis involving the Perak Football Association, PAFA, Khairul said all issues should be submitted to the Sports Commissioner PJS and all decisions made should be respected. On 7th March, the PJS suspended PAFA for 6 months following a violation of the association's constitution in dismissing the membership of 12 affiliates. That concludes today's edition of Updates at Noon. In our top story, 80 residents in Taman Bukit Permai 2 told to vacate homes. Tune in to News at 10, coming up at 10 p.m. on saluran Berita RTM on My Freeviews channel 123. You can also stream the news by surfing RTM Click. Thank you for watching. I'm Renee Fong. Stay tuned to TV2 Salam Keluarga Malaysia and have a pleasant afternoon.